welcome back to the M4. So we've had the car for just under a couple of weeks now. So I thought I'd give some first impressions of the car. I've used it for the past couple of weeks. I've done about 500 miles in it. So I thought I'd just let you know what I thought about it. First couple of weeks, first impressions. So I mean, for me, this is dreamy. This is a dream car. So the opinions are obviously swayed by the fact that I clearly love the car. I'm super excited by it. But yeah, of course, it just feels so special. Every journey is exciting. Every time I go out to the drive, it's dreamy. Every time I start it up, I put it into the M mode before I start it, so that I can hear the exhaust, and it gets me excited to drive it. Whether I'm in a car park full of other cars and people might be looking at me thinking, what a knob, I don't care. It's what I live for. It's what I enjoy. It's seriously potent. It's a little quicker than I expected, to be perfectly honest. I thought it would be a certain level of performance, and it's a little bit more than that, in all honesty, which is awesome, which is great. I think I spoke to Will after having the car for a few days and said, you know what, mate, this is the first time in a long time I've driven a car and thought, oh crikey, I need to be careful with this. It's a bit fast for the road. So that's a really exciting thing to feel again, and I'll get used to it. I dare say I'm probably used to it already, but you know, it's nice to have that feeling again. It's nice to think, crikey, that's fast. And I mean, there's always something faster. Of course, you could get into a GTR and make this feel normal, but you know, for me, this is wholly exciting, and this is a quick car for me. The most impressive thing about it, and the reason it feels so quick to me, is that it's so effortless. So at 50 or 60% of throttle and revs or what have you, 50% effort, you get a lot of speed still. You really pile on the speed without trying in this, whereas something as the MX-2000, for example, unless you're 80% plus, it's flat. You don't get anything. 100%, you get quite a good amount of pace, whereas this, you're not trying that hard, you're still moving down the road bloody fast. And you have to check yourself. You know, you could, if you overtake a car and put in a gear or two without trying too hard, you look down at the speed and you think, oh shit, I shouldn't be going that fast. So it's a car that I wouldn't want to drive day in, day out for a long time, because I think my license would be in danger, which isn't ideal, because you get used to the performance. It of course is very capable as well. In terms of usability, you can put all the settings down to normal or comfort mode, and it's wholly usable. It's like a normal car. You've got to be careful, of course. Still, you can't just mash the throttle. It's still very, very potent, but anyone could get in the car, and with things on the right settings, it's a perfectly usable normal car. You put things into efficient mode, chill out, it's no different to the 435D we had. You put it into one of the M modes, or just crank the engine setting up and the gearbox setting, and all of a sudden you've got the theatre of a Halo car, an M car. And I suppose that's the whole ethos of the M3 and M4. They're designed to be this Jekyll and Hyde car, and they do that absolutely beautifully. They feel so special 100% of the time, whilst being as usable as a everyday car, and as fast as a performance car. drive. How's the handling? Well, it kind of just feels like a more sporty, focused version of the other modern BMWs I've driven, to be honest. It's clearly more focused. You can feel that it's got a diff. I don't know whether it's electronic or mechanical, but you get that sensation of having a diff which is so sorely missing from something like an M135i. So that alone is great. The whole chassis is much more aggressive. It feels more direct. It's clearly designed to be much more sporty, and it likes to be driven hard. Being a potent turbocharged rear-wheel drive car, albeit with all of the modern safety features and stability and traction control, I've taken it fairly steady in it. I've not really pushed too hard around the bends and been too exciting coming out of corners, because it's a bloody valuable car. I don't want to crash it. So I've really eased into driving it, regardless of what I've driven else and the other cars I'm used to driving quickly on track. I think it's the right approach for this car, to take it steady and ease into it. But I am getting used to it and starting to extend it a bit more. One thing I would emphasise is the intangible of it being an M car. I really rate cars such as the M135i, M140, M240. I think they're incredible cars, and I could see myself owning one of those. In fact, it would be really unlikely that I don't own one at some point. But this intangible of it being an M car, the halo car, the sexiest of the BMW cars, is obviously you can't put it in numbers. It doesn't translate. It's not a performance thing. It just feels special because of that. I guess it's because if you grow up around cars, if you progress through the cars that you own and you enjoy performance cars, BMW M cars are something to aim for. There's something special. The way the car looks, it sits, the feel inside, all the little M tokens that you have with this car, and the knowledge that it is the special range-topping halo car, that the flagship model. It's not so much a status symbol. It's the fact that you appreciate the history and what goes into making these cars that makes it feel so special. So for me, it's a hugely special thing. Every time I look at this car, every time I drive it, it feels so special. And I know to some people this is the norm, but for me it's not. And I know I will get used to it, but I hope I don't get used to it, because I want it to always feel special while we've got the car, because it should do. It should do. It's a special piece of engineering. The development over the generations of M cars that accumulates to make this the car that it is staggering. I'm already thrilled that we managed to get something with the competition pack. The way the car looks on the crossboat wheels, the Dark wheels was such a great choice. Looks fantastic. I just love it. The chassis, of course, is a little bit sharper with the competition pack, and probably the best bit for me is you get the performance exhaust, which just sounds sexy. And when you stood still, you can prod the throttle, and it makes a really silly noise. So I'll try and video it so you can hear what I mean. But it just makes it a little bit more exciting, a bit more theatre for you. Quick burst of acceleration as we join the dual carriageway. And we've caught the traffic in the fast lane. It's just so bloody potent. Here we go. So having been a little bit surprised by the performance, I did a bit of research online about the power figures. I think they're quoted as being 444 brake horsepower. And I did a bit of research. I thought, I'm not sure that aligns even with the modern magic of new cars, the way that they just perform so far beyond what the power to weight ratios would suggest. Even then, I thought, you know what, this has probably got a little bit more than I expected. A bit of digging around on YouTube, and the first two dynos that I stumbled across for the competition pack, or I think the ZCP, the Americans might call it, yeah, they showed wheel horsepower figures of around about what is quoted as being engine output. So I think the reality for this car is perhaps more like 480 or 500 brake horsepower, which is perhaps better aligned with the sort of performance it produces, which is just remarkable. That's a crazy amount of power. You know, of course, there's lots of cars, lots of tuner cars, lots of cars that have that amount of power. But you know, when your first car is a Mini that has perhaps 45 brake horsepower, and you slowly progress through all these little cars, and you get some more performance-orientated cars. You know, this for me is of course the pinnacle of anything I've owned, and 450 brake horsepower plus, and the way it makes it so much of the time, and the way the performance in a car wrapped up as something so usable is astonishing, and so it should be. This is, you know, the pinnacle of BMW engineering, which is it's supposed to be a fabulous product, and you know, a car that astounds. I feel like I've not really given you any valuable information about the car, about how it drives, etc. But I don't really think that matters. You can go watch a million reviews on them. What I do hope I can convey to you is my excitement and my enjoyment of the car. I'm sure I'll be able to provide some more information about ownership as I own it a little bit longer. But at this point, 2 weeks in, it's just a hugely exciting thing for us, and hopefully it comes across in the video.